Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. This is the PAXTON Road TV preview show for the game Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton, which kicks off tomorrow 7:45 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In the house for the preview, we have the original trio. Myself, Sam Spurs for life, with Mike Hotspur Hustler and Darius 3K. Woo! Gentlemen, how we doing? Let's get into this show. Obviously, we've got a couple of games that have got our name kind of written on them. We've got West Ham playing Watford at the moment, Burnley playing Manchester United, which does affect us. Both those scores are 0-0 currently. Let me just sort out my housekeeping whilst anything was falling down. Before we start the show, though, please hit that like button if you are new to the channel. Also, subscribe. Throw any comments you in for us on the channel, on the show here, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. Right, let's without further ado, let us get into the show, gentlemen. What I'm gonna do is let's have a look at this first, right? So, table as it stands, obviously with the games playing, this hasn't been updated, so you can probably give Wolves a point. Watford a point, West Ham a point, Burnley a point, and Manchester United. Anyway. We are currently in 7th place, 36 points, 2 points off the top 4. Manchester United obviously playing today, played 2 more games than us. West Ham played 3 more games than us. Arsenal played a game. So a lot of stuff is falling into our favours. I'm going to start with you, Mike. After a very good display against Brighton in the FA Cup, Chelsea apart, what's changed for Spurs? Why have the performance galvanised, improved, particularly after the first half performance against Brighton? Talk to me about Spurs' continued upward direction at the moment.
I think it's a combination of obviously Conte working his magic, players. I say working his magic, setting his philosophy, having time. I think he's been lucky with the time that he's had with Spurs, whereby we've had periods whereby we haven't had a game, so he's had more time on the training pitch to sort of get his ideas across, etc. I think also the players look fitter. I think Harry Kane coming back into the side. I think I say coming. Sorry, I don't mean coming back inside. Harry Kane being in the side and looking fitter now. I think it's been quite important for Spurs. You could probably argue that most of this season he hasn't looked fit at all. But I think Tottenham just look more organised. We look like a football team. I think that's the difference. We look like a football team, and I think we're slowly making our home ground a place that's difficult to come and get points from. I know you can argue Chelsea in the games that we've played against them and stuff, but yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Fitness, like I say, Conte getting his ideas across, getting the players to sort of tune in and get on board with his ideas and his philosophy, and I think that's starting to show now. And I think it's important going forward. If all the players are all singing from the same hymn sheet going forward, I think that's important.
As silly as it sounds, do you think Conte's settled as well? You know, obviously he came in part way through a season. He made that clear that he's not the sort of thing that he does do. He's had this time where we talked about this assessment of the squad, looking at the players. That's quite a lot to go on and take in over the period of time. Plus the fact that he's got to win games, he's got to put out a team. We know all the balance of the team and the players that came in. So has Conte had a bit of a time to settle and kind of get into his stride as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's had plenty of time to sort of set his marker on the lads. I think they all know where he's coming from, and you can see from the performances, like we're not like you take the Leicester game under Nuno or Jose, we've lost that game. We're not even getting a draw. We're not getting anything from that. But I think that whatever Conte's instilled in Spurs, I think it's starting to show. I.e., never give up. It's not over until the sort of final whistle, and he expects 110% from his team. And I do think again, I take the Chelsea game, the Chelsea match is out of the equation, but I do think that we're seeing a different Spurs under Conte, and I actually think had we had a full team again, like a fully fit team to choose from in the return leg of Chelsea, I honestly do think it would have been a completely different tie. I think it, and even in Chelsea in the return game in the league, if we had Romero, Son, etc., playing or even featuring some way or shape or form, I honestly think it would have been a different game. But it's all in hindsight. It's all theory. It's all sort of a hypothetical scenario type situation. But I think Conte, he's definitely had more than enough time to implement his ways and settle within the club. I think he's got his feet under the table, and he knows what he wants and he knows what he needs to get to where he wants to be. So 100%. Yeah, I think he's had time.
I'm going to look at these last 5 league games. As I said, Chelsea apart. Chelsea, we lost 2-0 at Stamford Bridge on the 23rd. 19th of January against Leicester, we won with that great comeback, as we all saw those 2 goals in the last dying embers of the game. 1-0 win against Watford. Going back into Southampton, then on the 28th of December, we drew 1-1 with them at St Mary's. And Crystal Palace, we won 3-0. Darius, for you, Conte talks about improvements. He talks about a lot of that in terms of, the press conferences I've seen. What specifically have you seen that you're pleased with in terms of the improvements from the squad and the team?
Everybody knows what their role is in the squad and in the team, and Conte is very, very clear with his instructions and lets individuals know exactly what he wants from them. And being clear and sort of knowing exactly what you want from your players only can help the players when they're sort of having to learn quite a technical system. Man, you have just scored, by the way. Just learning such a technical system and such a precise system, what Conte plays, and having to actually understand where you have to be at a certain time, the passes being made, the sort of energy that you have to have. I think everybody's sort of fully committed to him and are ready to sort of learn. And because he's so clear with his instructions, everybody seems to be very, very happy with him. I know that Emerson sort of made a point when Nuno was sacked in an interview that even if they spoke the same language, he still didn't understand what was going on in training. He still didn't understand what was being asked of him. So I think that's just a big thing that all the players, Ben Davies, Sanchez, all of them have a role and they know exactly what to do. Even Winks has a role, and I can understand and I can clearly see now what Winks' role is, and he's playing that role pretty well. So I just think it's just the instructions are clear. The tactics are much better. The football's much better. The determination from the players are much better. I mean, I don't think you would have ever seen Tottenham players pick up a ball in the 95th minute of a game when you have 5 minutes at a time to go and win the game. That doesn't happen when Conte's not there. So there's a lot of little things that you notice because he's there, and things that you haven't noticed from your players in the past with managers that I can acknowledge that is sort of the reason of Conte, and it is Conte's sort of not fault, but it's the fact that Conte's there that it's happening. So there's a lot of mini things, maybe not necessarily off the pitch in terms of transfers. We didn't maybe get as many transfers as we wanted, but I definitely think that even upstairs, Daniel Levy's
as well as Manchester United scoring, we also have I love that. Every time this comes on, because it's his signature tune. We're joined in the house. Here we go. Here he is, the man himself. Spurs.
Afternoon, evening. How are we all?
Good.
All good, mate.
We're all good, mate. We're just getting through the old Southampton game. We're just looking at the last 5 league games. It's good timing, though. We'll come on to the next part. So we have a very good record against Southampton. Just the last 5 matches in total against them in the league. The last one being that one we drew 1-1. We had an opportunity to win that game. Southampton went down to 10 man, played very well. But you can see the record against them previously. 2-1 back in April 2021. 5-2 at theirs. That was a Jose game. That was a very good performance.
That was a Son-Kane 4 goal. Son got 4 goals. Kane got 4 assists, didn't it? Yeah.
It was. That was a good game. That was January 1st, 2020. Southampton 1-0 against Spurs. and before that, September 2019.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Sam, but my news goal has been offside. So
lovely, beautiful, even better. Going into the home matches again. 5 wins on the bounce. I think the actual home record against Southampton is pretty good, 11 out of 12. So it's looking like it's going to be fairly straightforward. The thing is I can see, though, there is that they've always scored against us in the last 5. Sid, should this be a straightforward, given the performances so far, should this be a straightforward 3 points for Spurs tomorrow?
Simple answer, yes. I think so. Given, obviously, with the 2 new signings that we've got, we've discussed this before as well, the 3 that have left, the momentum should be going good after the Brighton game, and we're at home, and I think it should be 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mike, what's the again? Conte's also the other thing he's really talked about. He's and again, I'm really glad to hear him talk about. He's talked about the home fans. What does his home advantage do for us going into tomorrow's game?
Well, it depends on a number of things. I mean, the home advantage. I mean, it almost acts, and it's that old cliche, doesn't it? It's almost like it's the 12th man, and I think that is the case. Quite often or not, since Conte's been here, at least anyway, that home advantage, it has felt like sometimes we have been playing, or Spurs have been playing with 12 men because of the fans, but. And again, I use the Chelsea game as an exception. I think we have to just forget about those Chelsea matches. But generally, it's always felt like a positive thing in terms of how the fans have been when Spurs have been playing. Okay, yeah, at the beginning it might have taken a while for the fans to sort of get on board. With the Spurs side, because I think a lot of us were a little bit dejected with what we were seeing from these players. But I think, again, I go round to Conte. Whatever he's done in the training ground, in the dressing room, behind the scenes, the change has all come from him. Everything's come from him, and I think that's the same with the atmosphere in the stadium. I think you can see the passion. You can see the passion on Conte's sort of face, from his expressions, from his mannerism, and that when you've got someone that's positive like him, it's contagious in a good way. And I think that when you've got that positive vibe from the manager, it's contagious in the ground, like Spurs, where you've got 60,000 seat stadium. I know it's not always been filled and stuff, and I think that's still partly because of coronavirus. But
Conte looks happy as well. That's the thing I looked about him in his interview today. He looked more relaxed. He looked happy. He looked like he was content. Just before you continue on, I'm not going to do the break-in again because that's going to get cheesy. But I'm going to add into the stream anyway. Welcome, Mr. K. How you doing?
Mr. K.
Oh my days! I was still preparing, but thank you very much for having me on, guys. Sorry, a little bit late today. I was chatting to a few people, and I totally lost track of time. But yeah, and on top of that, I couldn't actually find this particular stream. It took me a little while.
Well, I like your angle. You've got a different camera angle. It looks like you're almost like a newsreader. You're looking at the screen and then looking back. I like that. Let me just come back to what I was saying. Darius, talk to me about the importance of Christian Romero. Had a fantastic game, and I know you really, really appreciate this player. Is he now a definite 100% got to start, even though he's coming back from this significant injury?
Yeah, I still can't believe we've actually managed to sign this player, and the fact that he is so incredible, and the fact that he's been out for what has it been 2 months, probably more than that, and came back seamlessly against a very good Brighton team. And was by far the best centre-back. He's the most important player. In my opinion, will be the most important player in the team, even if Kane is still here in the next year or two, because he is just, his ball reading and his interception skills are second to none. I genuinely do believe he will become one of, if not the best centre-back in the league. He is that good. So it's a no-brainer for me. Even if he doesn't play the full 90 minutes, he better start because he is that good, and we do need him that bad. And Conte has even said he only played 1 game for me in the league, and he only played 3 games for me altogether. So this is a new signing for him, and I know Conte appreciates him. And the way we play is very much catered to Romero's skill set as well. I mean, if he can pick up that ball and intercept it quickly, those counter-attacks probably started from the majority of the time from him intercepting that ball and finding a forward pass straight away. It doesn't give the players any time to sort of get their shape, get ready to defend. So for me, he's just as important as a creative midfielder in terms of getting attacks going. He is that important to our team, and I think that he proved to everybody coming back into a big game in the FA Cup and being so magnificent, sort of how important he will be and how important he is. So yeah, I think he's beyond a fantastic centre back. I think he genuinely is one of the best centre backs in the world.
Cool, Mr. K, you're still shining a torch there for your old mate there, Deli. Sid will be
I put that on especially just for Sid, because you know what it is? He's gone. Listen, he's gone, and we mustn't forget the contributions he's made to our hearts as Spurs fans. I mean, that's a very young picture of him.
Yeah, but listen.
Right? So I didn't want to distract away from the show that you were doing. I just putting it into the background. But pretty much, I mean, if you look at this one here, for example, this is when we were in the Champions League, when we qualified for the final. And look at his face.
Yeah,
it meant so much to him.
Mr. K.
Maybe he's going to find his mojo again, but who cares? Anyway, I digress.
Mr. K, if you're going to put that picture up, right, and you're going to give it to me, then you need to play Kylie at the
I'm
back.
not giving it. I love him.
Especially for you.
Well, while Mr. K goes through his collage of
reminiscing of his collage,
let me ask you about the Southampton game. What do you think of the new signings? Do you think any of them got an opportunity to maybe start? I know that Bentancur made a good cameo appearance. Kulusevski as well. He looked okay. I think he needs to get a bit more up to speed. Conte said in his press conference today that Bentancur is ready. And I think what he meant by that is fitness-wise he's ready, but also mentioned that Kulusevski's got a little bit more to go in terms of, finding that tactical awareness, maybe that fitness level as well. Do you think any of them got an opportunity to possibly start tomorrow, given the fact that we've had a game on Saturday already?
I think Conte kind of answered this question in one of his previous press conferences, where he turned around and said that it's going to take a little while for these players to get up to speed with the Premier League. And at the same time, you've got to consider that he's quite loyal to the people that he's put onto the pitch. Like, for example, he talked up Bergwijn and then he put him on. Bergwijn rewarded him. And this is what you want your manager to do. You want him to give everyone an opportunity to get onto the pitch. You don't want that people like chatting stuff in the back of the dressing room. Mm-hmm. And he's quite clear with his players. And with him getting rid of some players, which, maybe he wasn't happy with or performance-wise, or that he wasn't happy with their mood or temperament, what we got now is a close-knit team. And this guy, he was amazing. He came on for 13 minutes. But in those 13 minutes, he reminded me of someone I think we lost some time ago that we never replaced in the middle of the field, and that was Moussa Dembele. So when you consider what we've been missing in the middle of our pitch, because all the time we've been pressing the ball out on either wing to try to get somewhere, right? What this guy over here is going to do is give you that ability to run ball, get that ball through the middle, So I think that he can I think it's too soon for any of these players to come on at the beginning of a match. They've only just arrived last week. They're still going to take time, although he's proved himself that he's a real class act. Kulusevski could have had 2 assists, but he still looks a little bit green. He still looks a bit like he's not quite 100% sure what our players can do, where they will dart to. So he's still trying to get used to that. Secondly, he's 21. So he's still got plenty of room to maneuver into. And we have established players that can be quite attacking. It's good to have these options on the bench because it'll give the opposition team something to think about. Like, hold on a second, what happens if they bring that on? We don't know enough about them. And we have to research what they're going to be like. How's Conte going to use them? I loved what we did last time with Brighton. And I'm hoping that Southampton's been one of those teams that's really kind of been a bit awkward for us, in the past.
Well, the stats don't suggest that, really, to be fair to you.
I think it's just when you watch it, when you watch the games, you kind of like...
What I think Southampton, they play decent football. So for us, it's going to be a good game because they all want to keep the ball. Like Brian, play good football, want to be attacking. So they're not playing this low block sort of thing. They might go into, defensive shape, but they don't play this Burnley type low block. expecting to go.
The thing is, Southampton, when they go into a defensive structure, when Southampton go into a defensive structure, they're extremely hard to break down.
Yeah,
And
I also think though with Southampton and sort of when the football that they play, they like Sam said, they don't want to wait. They're on the front foot. They want to press high. They want to win the ball high. I think that's almost tailor made for a Conte sort of system where he wants to play the ball along the floor. He wants to have sort of triangles in passing. If you beat that press, the Southampton press, and it's a good press, don't get me wrong, but if you beat that press with Conte and his tactics and the system that he plays, I think it should be quite easy.
The problem with Southampton is whenever they open up to play, sometimes they get spanked 7-1 or something.
They only have two midfielders, that's why. And that's why I think a 3-5-2 should be the way we go, because when you have two midfielders and two strikers, cool, you've got a lot of pressure on the back line. But I think three defenders, especially the quality that we've got, should be able to handle like a Broha and a Che Adams. So I'm saying 3-5-2, definitely.
And normally Southampton's spankings come when they're away from home, because they've got quite a compact pitch, which like what Mr. Gray was saying, it suits them, because if they come up against a better team and they're very rigid and structured in their approach, like Mr. K said, it is hard to break down, especially when you're on a smaller pitch like that. When you're on a bigger pitch like ours, I honestly don't think Southampton will be able to stick to that. If they are up against it, stick to that rigid sort of structure whereby they're very compact and.
Okay, here's a question which I was going to ask you. You asked me the question about Bentancur and Kulu. What would be the impact on the team and the players that are existing currently in our squad? What would be the impact if one of these two players, whether it's Bentancur or whether it's Kulusevski, I think most likely him, would be starting in this particular game? Well, would it have a negative impact on them, or would it be positive?
I wanted to ask you a similar question. So, what impact do you think either of them two would be on the team if they were to start, Sid?
I said on Sunday, didn't I, that after the performance, the cameo that Bentancur produced, I think he's going to start tomorrow. I think he's going to be
injured, isn't he? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, Skip's injured still. I think the three players that were injured on the weekend are still injured. So Skip's, Dyer, and I think I can't remember the third one. But they're still out.
Tanganga.
But they're still out. I think Bentancur will come in tomorrow. He'll start the game. I don't know about Kulu, but definitely Bentancur will come in. And whether he plays with Winks or Højbjerg, I think it's going to be Højbjerg. But I think everyone already
see that being an option. I'm not sure if Winks and Bentancur would play together, because I still think Winks is a little bit below the level of Højbjerg and Skip. So if you're looking at a first team player, I'd play Højbjerg alongside Bentancur, just for the fact that you want as much leadership on the pitch as possible. I'm not quite sure Winks is in that bracket for leadership, but certainly has got a role to play in the squad and in the team coming up. But just talk to me about the mentality. And I'll just come to you quickly before we go into the score predictions. Darius, what have you seen in terms of the mentality? Harry Kane talked about how almost grateful, the gratitude he's shown towards Conte and his methods. He said that there's been a mentality change. What is that? Is it just a case of them having more energy, not wanting to give up? Is it that just been more belief that they've got a world-class manager? Are the players believing more in themselves? What is it that's
I don't think it's necessarily a belief in themselves or sort of a never giving up desire. I just think Conte, like Conte said, I hate to lose. I only want to win. And I think he's just basically put that on every single player. Well, and like I said, the example I made was the Leicester game. I will never ever, and I put this on my life, I don't think I'll ever see a Spurs team pick up a ball in the 95th minute when you've got 5 minutes at a time and try and go for a win, unless they're managed by Antonio Conte. And that's just all he's done. He's not changed his personality. He's not changed anything. He's come in and he said, if you lot don't conform to me, you aren't going to win. And it's obvious, in my opinion, that you can say that, because for the past how many years, this team hasn't won anything. So I think that basically, I think for the first few weeks, I'm not saying that there might have been sort of disruptions or disagreements, but I think for the first couple of weeks, maybe players might have not wanted to train as hard, or maybe not looked and seeing the benefits that Conte is bringing. But after you see the results, after you see the performances on the pitch, like Kane said, I don't think any of those players can say anything. Kane even was shocked by himself to see the pace that he's sort of garnered from an improved diet, from the training regime. I just think that Conte's come in and not changed anything that he's done in the past. And I think those players have got enough respect for him. And I even think Daniel Levy to an extent, because I've heard Alistair Gold mentioning about sort of Conte giving a lot of home truths to Daniel Levy. I just think everybody within that club has acknowledged that this man wins a lot of things and you cannot tell him anything, because Tottenham as a club don't win much. So I think he's just basically come in and radiated everything that he's already he's already sort of epitomized throughout his career. I don't think he's really forced anybody to change. I think he's just basically said, if you don't conform to me, then you're not going to win, and I will just get rid of you. So I'm more proud of the players for sort of just at least giving this guy everything and not half-arsing it. And I'm happy that the board and upstairs have got rid of the players who are half-arsing it, because I can clearly see from the Brighton game, everybody on that pitch, bench included, wants to play and wants to win. So I think that's just the most important thing.
Let me see do you agree with that sentiment?
Sorry, who?
Mr. K.
Oh, okay, right. I tell you the truth, Darius is absolutely spot on with everything he said so far. Is there anything that I can add to that? I think there is one more thing you can add to that, and that is basically the perception that Conte, that the media would like to propagate about Conte, is that, he goes into a club, he demands these players, he demands X amount of money, and then what he's tried to remind us in his press conferences is that basically he's also a manager who develops players, who comes into a team, looks at the players and say, I'm going to develop you, I'm going to make you better players. And he said, look, he goes, everyone forgets about that. I've done these type of things. And on top of that, when I leave, that improvement that I've made, it still remains.
Look at Inter right now, the top of the league, aren't they? So
I think he's basically, look, I know to a certain degree he's blowing his own trumpet a little bit, but I kind of think that Tottenham have given him the opportunity to highlight that one aspect of his coaching capability, which is improving the quality of individual players. Now, obviously, you come back to mentality. This is where mentality comes in. If you do not have the right mentality to stick with this manager, then I'm sorry. Like
you go before the manager, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you need to leave. And that's exactly what's happened. Now, for whatever's happened, whatever disagreements maybe he had with Lo Celso, it didn't work. So Lo Celso had to go. Same thing with Dele Alli. He had to go. Same thing with Dombele. He had to go. We really can't put our hands up and say that any of those people, we wanted to keep them here the way they were currently playing. Now, if they're playing in that particular way and you've got a coach that's going to improve you and you're not improving, then I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with the mentality side of it. And that mixture of different mentalities that we've had in the past has created division in the dressing rooms, right? Yeah. And there's almost like, the old, I know it's a bit of a joke, but the old Ryan Gate for the final, it's like Ryan's mates. Managers will want players that believe in them, that will fight through brick walls for them.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what Conte is doing. He's doing no different than any other manager would do that's worth his weight in salt. So I think that right now the mentality of our club is moving in a good direction. I think that the fans have turned around and picked up on this mentality, and they're getting behind their team. And it's, that last game was beautiful in the fact that Romero was in the central defense. I did not have a moments of trepidation in my heart for 1 second. It didn't matter if Brighton had scored a goal or not. It didn't matter to me because I just felt that at least they had to score the goal. It wasn't us giving the ball, putting it in the back of our own net. It wasn't one of them situations.
I'm hoping that we can see the likes of Romero being a star player, and I think he is going to be a star for us. We've got the stardust with Kane already. We've got the stardust with Son. We need that midfield. Potentially, we're looking at the player that you've got in your background. If Bentancur could step up, maybe we've got a little bit of stardust coming. You have a spine of your team, but they always talk about a spine. You develop a spine for your team, and then you've got that to build around.
I think we had a pretty good one, to be fair. Though that's the thing, Sam. I think the players that we've kept and I truly think after this Dele sale, I think it's truly sort of a landmark moment to say the Poch era is sort of over now, and I think all the players that we want to keep from that era are still there. And now it's just sort of time to, like Mr. K said, he put it perfectly. I think everybody is now pulling in the same direction. There's not anybody who doesn't really mind just playing for a wage. I think everybody now wants to win. So it's good to see, to be honest, and long may it continue.
Let me just ask Mike and Sid quickly about it before we get to score predictions. Do we have enough strength and depth in all positions now, Mike, first, then Sid? To get top four. Not to win the league, but to get top four. Let's give
I'll let
Sid
go first.
Have you got enough...
I like that move. He shouldered that one.
We still needed a creative midfielder, in my opinion, and I still don't think I don't think Conte's got what he actually wanted in terms of a couple of extra players. I still think we need a striker, backup striker. No matter how good Kane's playing at the moment, we still need a backup striker to come in and just help Kane out every now and then. I know Son can play there. I know Bergwijn can play there. But I still think we're about one player short. I personally think we're about one player short that could have given us that sort of, not guaranteed, but 85, 90% chance of getting top 4. One player I think would have made that massive difference.
Right?
Apart from obviously the striker, obviously we'd all like a backup striker. Given that we've only got 5 months left of the season, and we've got players coming back from injury, I think Conte, with the 2 additions that he's brought in, I think he's okay with it, because we haven't got. I said this before in previous streams. We haven't got Europe to worry about, so we've only got the FA Cup, which we're still going strong in, and we've got the league, which, look at our results in the league. We lost 1 or 2 in 11 or 12 games under Conte. I can't remember the exact figure. I might be out by, I don't know, could be out of that. But either way, I think we've got cover in every position. Really, apart from up front now, and I think the only thing with Kulu, he just needs to be. I don't think he's quite there at the fitness levels that are probably required for someone in his position. But I think that will come, and there'll be opportunities for him to get that fitness. Like against Brighton, he came on in the second half, got some minutes under his belt, and I think that's just what's just going to have to happen over the next few weeks till he's at that level of, right, you're fit enough to start now. That could be a month away. We don't know, but like what the guy said, I think in the middle of the park, I don't really think that's the issue. I think we've got now Son's come back in, Kane's there. We've got Bentancur in the middle. Winks isn't that bad, to be fair. When he's been playing, he's been progressive. He's been better than what he was under Mourinho. There's not all this sideways or backwards passing. He's trying to look forward, and I think that's what Conte's told him. I don't want you looking sideways or looking back. I want you to be playing that ball forward as far forward as you can. I think we're okay. I think we've got enough in our locker to get top 4. I honestly do mean that. I know you could argue, well, what happens if Kane get injured? Well, we've seen it at the beginning with Bergwijn, Son, and Moura. Those 3 up front, they can.
Even Kulusevski could be that focal point up front, because he's a very big guy, isn't he?
He is a big lad, and he could be that vocal point. He could be that focal point. So I think, although they might not be sort of like the perfect, like the perfect players we would all want. I mean, in an ideal world, we'd want every single world-class player in the side, but that's not going to happen. But for the next 5 months, given where we are, we're 2 or 3 games off top 4, level on points with Arsenal, who are 5th or 6th, a couple of points away from Man United, who are in 4th, whatever it might be. I think we're in an okay position as long as we keep progressing, keep playing the way we have, keep the fitness levels at that desired sort of that desired level of where Conte wants you to be able to sort of fulfill his requirements with his philosophy and his tactics, etc. I think we've got a really strong chance of getting top 4, and I think the squad's certainly strong enough. Now Romero's back. Romero being back is key. Now that's defensive wise. Saw that, and with Dyer coming back,
you know what?
Mike's become a believer.
You know what Conte said to Harry Winks?
What did he say?
You know what he said, Mike, don't you? When you mentioned about looking over the shoulder, he said, "Mate, don't be looking back over your shoulder."
He always finds a way. Listen, now let's do this. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. K, which is going to be the point in the show where we're not getting Sid to sing, but he does that anyway. But we are looking at the score prediction. Ooh. Mr. K, let's start with you firstly. Thoughts on the game, score prediction for tomorrow?
4-1.
It's simple as that.
He's just he ain't messing about tonight, is he?
In Conte, I trust, and You know, I would just, you know what it is? I think on any given day, our team is good enough to be able to knock 4 past any particular team. But now that we've got a few more add-ons coming into our team, got a few people out, the mood is starting to change in the dressing room. The belief is starting to get there. And I believe that a team like Southampton is the perfect team to play right now at home. You know, we've got a tough match coming up on Sunday, which is Wolves. Match, yeah. And I think this particular game, Southampton, is going to be a little bit of a watershed moment for our team. Why do I say one? Because I don't know. I still don't think that we've got the complete package to prevent teams from scoring against us. Like, for example, in a free kick, you know, things like that. But we've definitely now sorted out a few things in the middle of the pitch, which is fundamental. Now, coming back, you know, anyway, what's the second part of the question?
Just tell me about how you thought the game was gonna. But the way that game's gonna go, it's looking like it's all action from Spurs. So 4-1.
4-1. He's not messing about.
I reckon we'll be 2-0 up by half time. I reckon Southampton will get one back, make it 2-1, and then that'll spur us on to get 2 more goals. And Harry Kane.
If he plays and knocks one in, I'll be bloody happy with that as well. Oh, Jesus Christ,
Mr. Kane's so optimistic. He's got Harry Redknapp playing as well.
If he gets on the pitch tomorrow,
I don't know what's happened. Why have I got Redknapp on the brain? I don't know.
So he lives down there. That's why he lives down in Southampton, doesn't he? So he's always around Bournemouth area anyway. So Wayne Bonner saying 3-0 to the mighty Spurs. Romero's class, but signing for us. But our signing is our Van Dijk. I think he's basically saying there. Simply saying 2-0
I think that's true.
Kane and Kudu. Does Dyer struggle to get back into the back line?
No,
he's injured.
He's injured.
Put him straight back in when he's fit.
You know, you talk about the spine of the team, right? Yeah, you look at it. Basically, to get a proper spine in our team, we need to have one goalkeeper, which we've got is a very solid goalkeeper as our captain. You need the 2 central defenders in front of him, 2 midfield players, and that striker up front. And I think we pretty much almost got that already.
Yes, Nuno.
Just a big midfielder that we need now.
Someone's saying that you look like Nuno. We've always got a Nuno.
No, I'm older than Nuno. Nuno looks like me.
I love that, Mr. K.
He's giving it the big 4-1. Let's come to you, Darius. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm not doing a Mr. K special, but I do like the sort of path he's treading on, and I'm gonna keep that same energy, and I'm gonna say 3-1. I think Kane might bag a hat trick. I think Kane is like, I think he's hungry. I think he seriously wants to do some damage and try and get his name back up those scoring charts. So, I mean, to be fair, and I know he's played in the Conference League, but Kane scored 14 goals in all competitions. The only player to score more in the Premier League is Salah, who's got 23. So he's still scoring goals. It's just not as many in the Premier League as we'd want to see. So I'm going to go 3-1, Kane hat trick, easy beans. Don't care. I'm confident, Mr. K. You've got me confident, mate.
No. He started off. That's why when you start off like that, you just can't be too dour, can you? When someone hits a 4-1 on you, like smack in the face, like,
and he did it. First one in, bang.
Yeah, exactly.
What you all saying?
Bang, hustler. Go on then. You're next up. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going to be a bit more reserved. I'm going 2-0.
Clean sheet there. He's going for a clean sheet.
Kane and Son.
Yeah, 2 goals. Before I get to my one, let's go to Sid next then. Sid, your thoughts?
Do you know what?
Score prediction.
I'm so happy for Mr. K and Darius because I'm going to the game tomorrow. So if they're predicting goals, then I'm going to be in for a treat, mate. You know what I mean? I better get my hands warmed up because I'll be doing a lot of this tomorrow. Then, won't I? I was going to go with what Darius said, actually, 3-1, because I can see us scoring and I can also see us conceding. For some reason, I can't see us not conceding. And like Mr. K said, a free kick, Ward-Prowse or something like that, or it's going to be a stupid deflected goal or something stupid. I can just see us doing that. But for once, I'm going to go, instead of 3-1, I'm going to go 3-0.
Okay, go for a clean sheet.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think 3-0. I'll go 3-0.
Okay. Well, based on the fact that there was a very looking at the Brighton game, I think Brighton and Southampton have some similarities, not quite, but in terms of the way they approach the game, Brighton did have opportunities in that second half against us. I'm still thinking that we are going to win this game. The stats suggest so. You know, looking at the home record against Southampton, I think only Man City have got a equal amount of wins against Southampton in the Premier League. So all that being put together, I'm going for a 3-0. I'm going for a 3-0.
Whitewash.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Spurs are gonna lay one on them because Brighton, Southampton don't travel too well. They'll come out and try to play still, and yeah, I think we've got more than enough in the tank to beat them lot tomorrow. Yes. Those people.
This would be my preferred choice. This would be my preferred choice as a second striker.
You don't like his team.
I haven't told you.
That was funny. Can't believe he said that. That was very funny.
He got caught. He did get caught out.
For some girls, you know. Wow.
Exactly. Anybody that sent in any video predictions, I will be putting them together, compiling them in shorts. Couldn't get them on tonight. Sorry about that. With just some technical difficulties. But send them in. Send all your video predictions through. They'll be up on before tomorrow's game. So make sure, is this number in the top back? No, it's not. Let me see if I can find that number to put in the top. Where is it? Under pressure to find. Under pressure to find. Under pressure. Can't find it. It's not there. Where is the logo one? It's never there when you want it. Oh, it's here. There we go. So top right hand corner. +44 7774 364 819. Send your video predictions through on WhatsApp.
And if you do ring after the landlines close, you will still be charged. I just need to let you know that. So
yeah,
you will still be charged. And
if you're watching on YouTube tomorrow, please don't, because you'll still be charged, but we won't get the videos in, yeah.
And you'll also have, if you're, when they got that background music, it'll be Sid singing various different tunes in the background.
Is it?
So if you hang around long enough, you'll hear some of that.
I think that's a punishment for hanging around that long, to be fair.
Definitely. Right, guys. Mike, Darius, Mr. K, Sid, brilliant. That's been brilliant. We look forward to the game tomorrow. As I said, just going through them score predictions. Mike Hotspur. 2-0. Sid 3-0. Mr. K saying 4-1. Bang, smack in your face there. Darius saying 3-1. Sam is also going with a 3-0 there. So yeah, very positive. We always do this, don't we? We always go gung-ho. But no, I'm confident. I'm really confident tomorrow. So none of that doom and gloom. Let us get out. Thank you very much. We will be seeing you all very soon. Look out for the prediction, the review show tomorrow, straight after the game, where we'll be going through all about the game, reacting to that, etc., etc. I'm just looking at all these different people.
It actually is Daniel Levy's birthday today. What on earth?
Yes, that's the reason why we have him. Today is his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Danny boy.
How old is he?
Birthday.
Would you like to know, Sid?
Yeah, because you know why?
60 years old now.
Right, so on the 60th minute tomorrow, we should all sing happy birthday to him. Like, not gonna happen.
Yeah, he especially likes that one where we say Levy out to him. But no, apparently today's Levy out day. So many happy returns.
I wish I had party poppers. I don't have party poppers, unfortunately.
Levy out.
Thank you for watching PAXTON Road, by the way, and making all them decisions when we told you to get rid of managers. You've been listening, son. Well done, mate. Well done. It's
Levy out.
Someone said he's 59.
Mr. K's video was.
He was born in '62, I think, wasn't he?
Was it?
No. Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, I'm not going to lose sleep over how old Daniel Levy is, to be honest.
Yeah, he's 60. Yeah. Lovely.
It's all good. It's all good. That's enough now, lads. We've done enough now. We've rambled enough. If you are watching still, hit that like button. Smash that like button. Watching or repeat again, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button as well. Send us your videos through on WhatsApp, as we've mentioned, to the number in the top right-hand corner. And so join me tomorrow, gentlemen, and we're going to go through the reaction show. And it should be a good one. It should be like, you know what I mean? Hands in the air job tomorrow. So right then, thank you, Darius. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. We're hoping. See you later, guys.
Good night.